good games for y'all this week. Again, another good slate. We'll start off. There's a game on Friday night. Utah. Let's see what number 10 Utah at number 19 Oregon State. Oregon State is -3. Over under is 44.5. Man, I'm telling you, I was looking at because Utah is one of those teams that, to me, they remind me a little bit of Iowa. Like you look up and they're 5-0 or whatever. I know Iowa got killed last week, but you look up and they're undefeated and ranked, and you look at their scores and none of them are flashy games. They just find a way to like pound you into the ground. And I feel like that's how this Utah team wins. I just think Oregon State, man, I feel like they have a lot of weapons this year. They have a good system, good running back play. So I'm going to take Oregon State in this one, -3. I'm going to take them. And I just think Utah hasn't been in a game where they've had to claw their way back. They've kind of been able to make games ugly. And I think Oregon State's going to be able to put together some drives and put some pressure on that offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think I love the under in this game simply because I think both teams are going to want to run the football. We talked about how fast that Baylor-Texas first quarter went. I could see this like game going by fast because I feel like both teams want to control the line of scrimmage. They want to run the ball. They want to control the time of possession. So I think there's going to be a ton of running in this game. Oregon State has obviously Martinez. I can't think of the guy's name, but he put together over 100 yards last week, I think. So, and that game script was kind of high scoring. So, and they were having to come back. So this game, I'm with you. Like Utah's going to make it ugly. I'm anticipating an ugly game. I don't really know who's going to win. I do like Oregon State, but I'm gonna stick with the under because I think there's going to be a lot of running the football. I think this is going to be a quick game.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Fenwick.
Yeah.
Fenwick went for 101, Martinez for 81. And again, man, the Pac-12 is just so deep this year.
Yes.
They lost to a good Washington State team. All right, so next game up is number 8 USC going at Colorado. Colorado is plus 21.5. Over under is 74. Justin, what do you think about this one?
Man, I don't know, man.
This is a tough one because it's...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm instantly thinking I want to take the under, simply because
that's where I'm at.
I don't think USC is even as explosive as Oregon. Look, I'm not saying they can't put up 50. They could definitely put up 50 in this game. But again, I don't know how much Colorado is going to put up. I personally think Oregon is better than USC. I think Colorado is going to have. I think we're going to kind of see really who Colorado is with this game because they just got embarrassed. If they get embarrassed again, now it's really like, okay, we're way farther away than, we knew we were far away, but we're farther away than we thought. Again, Hunter will not be available in this game. I think Shedeur is going to have a much better game. I think Shedeur can get close to 300 passing yards in this game because I just don't think USC's defense. I think USC's defense is susceptible to the big play. Golly, man. I think I'm going to take the under. I'm going to stay away from the line. So this won't be an official pick, but I almost got to go with USC. I mean, again, just based on what I saw last week, I just think the Pac-12 is that good, and Colorado without Travis Hunter it's going to be tough to keep up with USC and Caleb Williams. So, but my official pick will be the under 74.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning too. I'm going to take the under as well. I just think, USC puts up 50. Okay, Colorado has to get 24 to push. Can they get 24? I know USC's defense is not that great, but that's pretty much like you have to score touchdowns on just about every drive to feel good about the over in a game with the line that high. And again, I think if Colorado gets off to a slow start, USC gets up 14 zip quick, I think it could get ugly fast. And you're right. We're going to see what kind of team Colorado is. But again, this is the first year. I think they got, and it was part of their making too. They got a little bit ahead of themselves. Some of the trash talk you see in the videos that Oregon put out and stuff like that, but they're going to be okay. It's just, they're going to have more rough games than they are great games this year. And I think people just got ahead of themselves at the beginning of the start that they got. So
in USC, here's the thing. This is like a Heisman game. Okay, Bo Nix elevated himself up towards the Heisman, and don't think that these guys aren't already thinking about this stuff. Like Caleb Williams knows that out of all the games that he plays this year, this will be, other than if they get to the if they played Oregon maybe in the Pac-12 championship, I don't know, but in terms of regular season, this will be the most watched game they have all year. Caleb Williams, I feel like, is going to really want to show out in this game. I would not be shocked if Caleb Williams puts together just like almost like a early Heisman stamp game where he goes for, at least over 300 passing yards. I mean, again, that's how I could see this going. I'm excited, though. I'm excited about this game. Last week, I really thought Oregon was going to have their number. I think Colorado has a better chance to make this interesting against this USC team than they did against Oregon. I just think Oregon is once that momentum's going with that run game with Oregon, it's hard to keep up with that. I think USC could. I think this could be closer than we think, but yeah, I still like the under, just barely.
Well, and with Oregon, man, you got to keep that offense off the field. If you're not consistently getting first downs and keeping the clock running, it's going to be a recipe for disaster. All right, next game up is number 1 Georgia going to Auburn. Auburn is plus 14.5, over under 46.5. I'll be honest, this was the easiest pick for me out of all of these, and I'm taking Georgia minus 14.5. I saw Auburn play Texas A&M last week, and their offense is atrocious. Like they had trouble just moving the ball forward on some drives. The score makes it look a little bit better than it actually was. I think the final was, it was 27-10, but I think the only touchdown they scored was a defensive touchdown, and one that Jimbo Fisher almost got in the way and pulled a Woody Hayes and tackled the guy. But yeah, I don't see a way that Auburn is going to be, unless they just made this the ugliest game in the history of college football. I don't see how they keep it within 2 touchdowns. So give me Georgia. I think Georgia's going to put it on them big.
Yeah, I like the under in this game also. I'm liking all these unders. Mainly because I don't think Auburn puts up a lot of points unless they get a backdoor cover with some late. Because I think Georgia puts up at least 30, and so I feel like this is Georgia's first opportunity to really go into a hostile environment and be like, okay, we're gonna remind people that we're Georgia. Because I think it's so bizarre that Georgia is probably the least hyped back-to-back national champion I've ever seen. I've never seen, nobody's talking about Georgia. Nobody. Everybody's talking about Colorado. Everybody's talking about the Pac-12. Everybody's talking about Texas. Everybody's talking about Florida State. Or even Ohio State, Notre Dame. Nobody's talking about this Georgia team. So I think they're going to have a big chip on their shoulder. I'm with you. I think Georgia just absolutely dominates the game. So I'm going to actually do 2 picks here. I like Georgia with the points, and I also like the under in this game because I think their defense is just going to be lights out.
Yeah, and I mean, Georgia can't really blame anybody but themselves. Their schedule this season is awful. It is so bad. And yeah, when you don't play in those marquee games, people are going to forget about you a little bit. And I'm telling you, these voters need to start punishing these teams that are scheduling cupcakes all throughout their non-conference schedule, because it's just, for Georgia to have played, let's see, let me look this up real quick so I can make sure that I got it right. But I know that they haven't played anybody, this is the first time that we've had them on this show where we've picked one of their games, because all of their other ones have just been, so we played UAB last week, and then they had a conference game against South Carolina, Ball State, and UT Martin. I mean, that's you're not going to get much publicity with that kind of schedule. So I agree with you, though. I think they're going to make a statement. I don't think they're going to put it on Auburn. And like I said, Auburn just can't keep the ball moving forward enough to stop Georgia from what they want to do. So